response to the disruption of travel in COVID, but also to look at how our community is quite resilient and loyal, and how it functions as a strong business through line. So when you're looking to sort of reboot after everything that's happened, the LGBT community is so loyal, and they're going to be the first ones back out there to travel. Clark, do you want to switch to the next slide? I wanted to share some of the main findings from our survey. We have global results online, but these are actually key findings from the US portion of our survey. And one of the top things I think worth noting is that 77% of our 6,000 plus respondents said they plan to take their next major vacation before the end of 2021, illustrating the fact that they are indeed ready to get back out there and travel. But also very interesting was at the time we did the survey in the spring, more than one quarter, 29.5% of the respondents had made travel reservations in the past week at the time of taking the survey. And this was benchmarked against another organization that was looking at reservations at the same time. And LGBTQ respondents from our survey came in much higher than the traveling population at large on that question. And the other thing that's really worth noting is that 85% of our respondents have a passport. When you look at the US State Department statistics, only about 42% of United States citizens currently hold a passport. So it also underscores just what a traveling population we have within the LGBTQ plus segment, and why if you're focusing your outreach and making them feel welcome and included in your messaging, you've got the opportunity to attract a segment that is going to be, again, like I said, the first out there to travel when it's easy to do so and restrictions are lifted from around the world. And that brings us to the convention itself, which is where you can best learn how to attract these travelers. We have some great content in store for you. There's 3 main stage plenary panels with global participants that we're really excited about. One of them focuses on DEI strategies for business success, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Really important right now. And I know it's been a big topic of discussion in Atlanta, in the Atlanta business community. So you'll hear from leaders in that space. We also have a panel on trends for 2021 and beyond, looking at LGBTQ plus travel, where it is now and where it's going beyond the pandemic. And the third session, I think, is going to be one that I know even I want to be in the audience for, because we can always learn more. And it's called Stop Guessing, a conversation about identity in hospitality. And it features a group of non-binary and transgender panelists discussing their experiences in travel, how they've been treated, some of the discrimination that they've experienced, and how that all of us working in the hospitality and tourism industry can be better and do better to welcome travelers that might not look like us. And I think that's something that we can all take away from this. And then we're also going to be tapping into some great LGBTQ plus leaders in your own community as well. Breaking news, we're going to have a great speaker from Coca-Cola coming in to address our Women in Business group. And we'll also, of course, have wonderful representation from presenting sponsor Delta Airlines. And then Clark's going to talk a little bit more about the networking events, because you're there to learn, but you're also there to network, we know. So there will be plenty of opportunities day and night to meet thought leaders in LGBTQ travel from around the world.
Yeah, thank you, LoAnn. And you know, I often refer to our convention as LGBTQ plus travel summer camp, because it's like a big family coming together, especially after being apart for more than 18 months. Our last convention was actually in 2019. So this is going to be the first major global LGBTQ plus travel convention as we come out of the pandemic. And it's also going to be the first time that a lot of our members are going to be back together again. So yes, we have some great networking opportunities. The word networking is sometimes done with air quotes because some of those networking opportunities occur in the evening during our social events. And we're really, really proud to have such wonderful support from the Atlanta CVB and its members that are just rolling out the rainbow carpet for us. The first day of the convention will be what is known as our buyer supplier marketplace. And this is an opportunity for to participate in pre-scheduled meetings with pre-qualified buyers, meaning our travel advisors and travel tour operator community, to meet one-on-one with them in a speed dating, speed networking environment. On Thursday, that'll be on Wednesday, September 8th. And then on Thursday, as LoAnn mentioned, we have a full day of convention programming. And then Thursday evening, we'd like to say thank you to the Georgia Aquarium, who is welcoming us for the opening reception at the Georgia Aquarium. And I was there on a site inspection a few weeks ago. Will and his team are doing a wonderful job of preparing an excellent event for our convention attendees, and I know people are really going to enjoy that. On Friday, we will have a full day of convention programming again, and then Friday evening, we have our IGLTA Foundation fundraiser event, which is called Voyage, and that's going to be at the amazing Delta Flight Museum. And as we mentioned earlier, Delta is an IGLTA global partner, has been since 2006. So we have a wonderful relationship with the folks at Delta and at the Delta Flight Museum, who are also just doing an amazing job of preparing a memorable event for us that evening. And they're being helped by the ATL Airport District CVB, who is one of the hosts of that event, and our presenting sponsor is going to be Discover Puerto Rico. So it's going to be an amazing evening, and that is open for anyone in the Atlanta area to attend. Whether you're attending the convention or not, you can purchase a ticket to the Voyage event. Tickets start at $100, and all of the proceeds, thanks to our sponsors, all of the proceeds go to support the foundation and its mission. On Saturday, we have our volunteerism events, and this is where our IGLTA convention attendees go back out into the community and give back to the community by volunteering with local organizations, local charities, and contributing our time and energy to leaving a footprint and leaving a lasting footprint on the destination after our convention. So it's going to be a really great convention, a lot of great opportunities for you to network with our attendees. We also have some great pre and post events that I know many of you have already been working with Amanda on to organize those. So we appreciate your support. Our attendees, we always tell them to come early and stay late. I know that we have Black Pride and Bear Pride that are happening before and after the convention that many of our attendees are interested in participating in as well. So thank you all for your support in helping to welcome our convention attendees.
Ooh, I thought of another one, Clark.
Yes.
Travis would be upset if I didn't mention the media networking event.
Absolutely.
For the PR and communication professionals in the audience, you'll have an opportunity to pitch your brand to LGBTQ and some non-LGBTQ as well, but the primary focus is LGBTQ plus media, freelancers, influencers. Within our media networking event, it's open to attendees. And we also have an opportunity to get a day pass for the convention. So if you have a member of your team that focuses on PR and communications who would just want to get a day pass and come and experience the content Friday morning, the networking lunch, and then they'd have the opportunity to do that media networking in the afternoon, get marketing one-on-one advice and pitch for stories in upcoming issues in our publications and websites that are participating. So it's a great opportunity for direct conversations with the media.
Yeah, and LoAnn, I think I skipped over the Friday networking lunch as well. And I do want to highlight that to everybody on this call, because on Friday, we have our Tourism Showcase Networking Lunch. And again, this is open to local businesses, local suppliers that want to come in and just network one-on-one with our convention attendees. It'll be 2 hours of networking that will occur right after the main stage programming on Friday. You do not have to be registered to attend the entire convention to come in and network during that time. We have tables available starting at just $1,250, and that gives you access to the convention for that networking portion. So there's an opportunity for you, if you're not able to attend the full convention, to come in and network with our convention attendees during the Friday networking lunch. And all of that information is on our website, IGLTAconvention.org. You can reach out to Amanda or Travis, myself or LoAnn, and we'll be happy to provide you with more information on that. So LoAnn, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the ways to connect with LGBTQ travelers?
Sure. This is just a quick bullet point list that we wanted to share with you when you're thinking about the market and thinking about the convention and thinking about how you're going to strategize so that you can authentically welcome LGBTQ plus travelers. And the number one thing is do your homework. And presumably that's why you're here on this webinar. You want to learn more about the market. You're here to be supportive. And that's something that needs to be an ongoing process. Keep learning, keep evolving, keep getting more education, because the market is changing all the time. Which brings us to engaging with local LGBTQ plus organizations. I mean, as you've seen, IGLTA couldn't do our convention in Atlanta without the incredible support of a number of different organizations within the community. And I think that's one of the key things when you're reaching out in your own business, whether it's to larger organizations, whether it's to a local LGBTQ business owner that you know, but have those conversations, start a dialogue, get to know your own community so that you're better equipped to welcome those who are then coming in to visit it. Make diversity and inclusion a priority. This we can't state strongly enough. And diversity and inclusion within the LGBTQ plus community is obviously a number of letters: lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, plus, but it's also thinking about race and ethnicity and all of the different cross sections within that community as well, so that you're not reaching out in a way that is only to the gay white male traveler. You want to extend beyond the stereotypes when you're doing your outreach. Think beyond nightlife. We're not just a bunch of club kids. We are, well, we're not even kids anymore, I guess. But we're interested in everything that non-LGBTQ plus travelers are interested in. I mean, so don't think about clubs and bars as being the only things that will attract LGBTQ travelers to your destination. You have so much to offer. And of course, we're interested in gastronomy and nature and shopping and spas and sports, the entire gamut. And Atlanta has all of it. So think about your strengths when you're doing your LGBTQ plus outreach. Support initiatives for change. The CVB has been really fantastic about standing up against laws that are discriminatory. And I think it's really important, because oftentimes communities will look at a destination and they'll see something happening governmentally and they'll think, oh, well, we don't want to go there. But IGLTA never supports boycotts of destinations. We work with the businesses within a destination that are trying to create change and build a more equitable and future for everyone. And also, you need to be in it for the long haul. I mean, this is about committing to building loyalty over time. It's not just about slapping a rainbow flag on your business and saying, okay, great, here we are, we're welcoming LGBTQ plus travelers. It's a much more evolved process, and you're rewarded over time with your commitment. So what we hope you'll do is commit to joining IGLTA, to being a part of the convention. right in your own backyard in the wonderful city of Atlanta, and really getting to know the organization and all the different ways that you can support more inclusive travel for LGBTQ plus people and everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, LoAnn. So as LoAnn mentioned, a few ways to get engaged right now is to become a member of IGLTA, and you can just visit iglta.org/join to learn more about our membership pricing and how to join. Register to attend the IGLTA Global Convention. Again, the dates are 8 to 11 September, and I think it's right up here. Where am I pointing? Wherever it is, there it is. 8 to 11 September. The address is igltaconvention.org, and there are many ways to get involved, either with the buyer supplier marketplace, the media networking, the networking lunch on Friday. You can organize a pre-post experience, and Amanda will be happy to help you with that. We invite you to join us for Voyage on Friday evening at the Delta Flight Museum. So there are a lot of ways for you to get involved, and we're all here to answer your questions and provide you with any additional information. And speaking of questions, Travis, I think that's your cue, isn't it? Are you either Travis or Amanda, or one of you been monitoring the questions?
Yes, Clark, thank you. We actually received some questions prior to this morning's webinar, but for our viewers that have joined us today, if you have any questions for ACVB or IGLTA, please feel free to drop them in the chat. But one of the questions that we've received, several inquiries are regarding the media that will be traveling to Atlanta for the convention, and how ACVB members can get some FaceTime and engagement with those. And I'm happy to take this one. Part of my role with the CVB is media relations. And obviously, travel media has been slow during the pandemic. So I know my team is super excited that LoAnn's got some great media that are headed this way for the convention. Obviously, as they've stated, we are encouraging folks to come to the destination prior to the convention and to potentially even stay longer. So our press will be arriving, and hotel partners can certainly offer to host any number of the media that are involved. We want them to see the destination, and so we want to get them into the different neighborhoods and obviously experience what makes those different and unique. Restaurants can certainly offer to host media for a meal. I mean, Atlanta's dining scene is incredible. I know Clark and LoAnn both enjoyed some Atlanta culinary when they were both here for site visits in the past several months. But yeah, restaurants, I mean, it can be something as simple as walking off the belt line and grabbing a snack, or a mixologist maybe wants to create some concoctions for us. So there's any ways that restaurants can get involved. And obviously with our attraction partners, tour operators, things of that nature, I mean, anything that you would like to offer to introduce your brand to these media. I mean, what makes your brand special and unique and part of Atlanta's story. So if you are interested in working with us as we have our media guests in town, please feel free to send me an email. It's tcurry@discoveratlanta.com, and I'll be happy to drop that into the chat. But we're super excited for the media. We want to make sure that the city is showcased, and we know what makes it incredible, but we need you, our members, to help us tell the story. So definitely looking forward to working with our partners to welcome these guests. Thank you, Amanda.
Yep, got it.
And I also added another URL in the chat, which is iglta.org/Atlanta-convention. And that goes to a landing page that tells a little bit more about the convention, a high-level overview. But there's also an opportunity to sign up to register to win a free convention registration. So for those of you out there, if you haven't registered, please sign up. You might win. And if you have already registered, we'll actually reimburse you if we draw your name. So
cool.
No reason not to sign up.
Yeah.
So Clark and LoAnn, we actually received this question as well. You've already touched a little bit on how our members can help prepare for IGLTA attendees. But what's amazing about this is, things that we learn from hosting this convention can carry on into the future to be a welcoming destination, regardless of who's coming. What do you have any suggestions, or what does it mean to be a welcoming business, or something, is it putting a pride flag out? Do you have any? I mean, you guys have been to wonderful cities across the globe, so is there any tips or things that our members can know to put their best foot forward, not only for you and your attendees, but for future travelers to Atlanta as well?
The first thing that I would go back to is some of the tips that LoAnn had earlier, and certainly it's about being engaged for the long haul. And when I look at the fact that the Atlanta CVB has been an IGLTA global partner since 2013, and that Delta has been engaged with us since 2006. Hilton, we just celebrated 10 years of the global partnership with them, Marriott as well, Hyatt as well. So, these are global brands that have been engaged and have made it part of their overall DEI strategy and part of their DNA to be engaged with the LGBTQ market. So even on a small business level, it is possible to do that. Get engaged, know your market, do your homework, and be truly welcoming to the LGBTQ travelers. A lot of that goes through communications also, and using true imagery and using real models and real people in any communication that you're using, that you're creating to target the LGBTQ travelers. LoAnn can speak more to the communications aspect, but it's just about really being sincere, relevant, and engaged.
Yeah, the inclusiveness goes a long way. I mean, everyone needs to see themselves represented. So, think about what your marketing looks like, and are there LGBTQ people, and not just, as I said, gay men, but a diversity of queer people in the mix when you're doing your marketing. And this doesn't mean that you have to create an entirely separate program. It doesn't mean that you have to, have a dedicated LGBTQ plus website. But if you have a spectrum of people represented in all of the imagery that you use to do your outreach, it goes a long way, because people will see themselves, and that means something to them. And then also, I think investing in diversity training is really smart, because like I said, even for us, we only know a certain amount, and it's changing all the time. I mean, think about the acronym. I mean, it was the gay community, then it was the gay and lesbian community, then it was LGBT, now it's LGBTQ plus or LGBTQIA. I mean, there's, it's an evolving process. And so I think if you can invest in diversity training, there are a lot of different groups out there. There are many IGLTA members that do training programs, some of them really simple online programs, some of them, much more involving coming into your business and doing the training with your employees. But that's a really great investment in your future, and knowing how to authentically welcome your visitors.
Excellent.
Thank you. That was great. Amanda, we received a question about ACVB membership events in 2021, and if we will be having anything in person in the coming months.
How exciting. The answer as of right this second, 10:32 on July 28th a.m. Eastern Standard Time, is yes. The next one is scheduled for September 28th at Illuminarium on the Beltline. We, of course, will be following the CDC protocols, and whatever the CDC says governs. So as we all know, that's changing by the moment, but we are following that closely. We want to, of course, make sure everyone feels safe, and of course, welcome to attend the networking events. But mark your calendars, more information to come, but September 28th is the first in-person event that we will have had since, I believe, February of 2020. So wow, we're excited about that.
Well, a little side note, my last business travel before the pandemic was also in February of 2020. And then my very, very first travel destination, chance on an airplane, anything, was my site inspection to Atlanta a couple weeks ago. So you all, Atlanta holds a very special, dear place in my heart. You were my first post-pandemic destination.
Oh, something to write in your diary for sure. That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, that's for sure.
It's in there.
We hope it stays open and stays that way. So I want to welcome anybody else that has any questions to pop it into the chat. We have just a few minutes left in this meeting, but in the meantime, I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, Clark and LoAnn. You guys have been amazing. Your vast knowledge is not only impressive, but it's inspirational. So I think that it's given me, and I hope all of our ACVB members, a chance to understand the market and how to get involved. I think that was our biggest takeaway today, is how to get our ACVB members involved and engaged in the LGBTQ market. And so I feel like we've answered those questions and given everybody some really awesome action items. So is there anything else that anyone would like to bring up? Any questions here at the last minute?
Amanda, I have one that Clark and LoAnn will be very educated to help us with. So we have several members that are part of the LGBTQ plus or queer community, but we also have straight allies. And so Clark, LoAnn, could y'all just, for our allies on the call, maybe just help us explain the spectrum a little bit? You know, as y'all said, this is all we're learning and it evolves, but just for the folks that are on the call right now, would you mind just helping us with that?
Yeah, go ahead, LoAnn.
Well, no, I was going to say, do you, in terms of acronyms, or just in terms of the?
I think you know, one of the queer is always appearing now in media, and I do think that queer has been something that is encompassing of the community versus LGBTQ. I don't think that there is any instance where it's wrong to use one of them, but I do think that there are questions about queer versus LGBTQ plus.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, that's also it's country by country too. You know, you see the LGBTQI for intersex. You see that used a lot more in Latin America and also in Europe, and particularly with human rights organizations. Queer has a complicated history because it was, you know, for people of a certain age, it was an insult, and now it's really been reclaimed by the community. So I think it's also about having a conversation with the people that you're working with too, and seeing what they feel most comfortable with in terms of how of identification and the language that's used. We love our allies. We have so many allies among our partners and members. And, you know, again, they're showing a commitment to learning more, getting more education so that they can take it back to their own communities. There's just so many opportunities for growth all the way around.
And Travis, you're setting a really good example by having your pronouns in your signature line on in your Zoom window. And that's something that we're seeing more and more. Our IGLTA email signatures include our pronouns on them. LinkedIn just made it possible for you to actually select your pronouns in your profile instead of having to write them after your name. And it's something, it's becoming more and more widespread practice. I've been on calls where people have introduced themselves and also said what their pronouns are. So as gender fluidity becomes more and more visible, it's something that I think we're going to see happening more and more. I know that in the US, you can now, I don't know if it's been voted yet, I'm sorry, but I know it was in the works to have the X on your passport, so have a third or a non-defined gender on the passport. And you know, that airlines are starting to allow people to use a third gender or a neutral gender in their reservations. So it is definitely something that is a growing trend, and as the community becomes more and more visible, I think we'll just see that continue.
Thank you, guys. Yes, and allies can use pronouns as well,
Absolutely.
just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
It simply just, makes everyone feel more included and more welcoming. And Atlanta, y'all means all here, and so we look forward to showcasing that to y'all's attendees in September.
Travis, do you know what the plural of y'all is?
Y'all's.
No, it's all y'all.
All y'all.
All y'all.
Very good.
All y'all.
All y'all.
All y'all means all.
Uh-huh.
I love that. Well, that's great. I hope, like I said, our ACVB members are able to take away some action items on how to get involved in this market and get engaged with this market. And then, of course, the links are in the chat on how to get engaged and attend the convention this fall. So again, email Travis, or you can email me if you'd like to get involved in those pre and post experiences. We would love to include you. I'll put my email address in the chat as well, but it's adyson@discoveratlanta.com. And I'll put it in the chat in just a second. And yeah, if you have any questions or you have any thoughts, please feel free to email us. And again, I just want to thank from the bottom of my heart, Clark and LoAnn, for joining us today. You guys are amazing. We've loved working with you, and we appreciate your time today.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for your support.
We love being here, and we're very excited to get to Atlanta.
Yay. Fingers crossed we stay safe and stay well. So, all right, everyone, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you all stay safe, stay well, and we will talk soon. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you all. Have a
everyone.
wonderful day.
Bye, everyone.
Nicely done, you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, David.
See ya.
Being there, your face was friendly to look at.
Nice to get an official ACVB background. Oops.
I know, look good. I'm really, well, it's all right. It's all right. You look
It's
good.
timely, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Clark, thank you again. You are a
Yeah,
dog.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
Amanda. Appreciate all your help
You guys
organizing this.
soon.
Clark, when you
Absolutely.
coming
Okay.
over?
Huh?
You're not coming back to the States until the meeting, I guess?
Yeah, I fly back on the 1st of September, but I'll be in Oklahoma City for a few days and then I'll come to Atlanta from there.
Okay. All right. We'll see you there.
I'll keep you posted.
All right. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.